Well, after the year that we have had, it is pretty safe to say that we are all looking forward to summer. And we've got Emily Stern. She is the director of J Camps for the Greater Baltimore JCC. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
I'm happy to have you here because I think that we as adults are not the only ones who are stir crazy. Our kids are too. Summer is a great time to get out, but we want to make sure that we're doing so safely. So J Camps has managed to stay open. They stayed open last summer. How did you adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, it was something that we really wanted to be able to be there for our community and open last summer, but only if we could do it safely. And thankfully, we were able to find out a few weeks before camp was going to start that the state was going to allow us to run day camps. Really only day camps were allowed to run last summer. And we modified our program significantly, actually running a program called Summer at the J, where we modified all of our programs with a lot less capacity. And we changed the style of programming that we were offering, where instead of offering our typical lineup of programming, which is very vast, we condensed it into just a few different programs for specific age groups. And we had mass and daily health checks, sanitation, really everything that we needed to do that the state required us to do, as well as looking at the CDC, as well as American Camp Association and ACA field guide standards to make sure that we were doing everything we need to do to keep our kids and staff safe, but also continue fun, which is really what camp is all about.
How did the counselors keep the campers engaged while still enforcing those protocols?
And our counselors did a fantastic job. We met with them virtually as well as safely in person to do training with them to make sure they understood what our safety protocols were going to look like, as well as time to plan fun activities. But we were thankfully able to still run some of our specials, which are things like arts and crafts and science and nature and sports and free swim. So we were still able to keep some of the things that make summer camp at our program. So our kids were busy all day long. We did include some extra programs that we wouldn't usually do to replace some of the things that we didn't feel comfortable running last summer. So we had water play, and we had a game called Gaga and Nine Square. We did a lot of different things. We kind of called last summer back to the basics. You know, if you thought of what camp was like 30 years ago, that's kind of what we went back to last summer. And what we found is that kids and staff just wanted to be together. They just wanted to be back with their friends after, at the time, really being quarantined completely for many, many months. So it was really a fantastic way for us to provide that to our community and do it in a safe way. And we learned a lot from last summer.
So what are you planning for this summer?
Yeah, so great question. We are going back to our typical lineup of programming this year. So we are going back to offering our day camp, sports camp, Habima Arts Camp, our teen programs, our early childhood Noah's Ark Camp is open. And we are going back to all of those programs for ages 2 all the way up through 15. We have learned a lot in the last year. I think a lot of us have, and how to run programs safely for kids. And we feel comfortable being able to open back to our typical program platform, but continuing all the safety standards that we learned from last year. So parents will likely still see masks in our program, sanitation standards, daily health checks, capacity on group size. Obviously, we're still waiting and looking to the Maryland Department of Health to give us all those regulations. So really taking the safety protocols that we put in place last summer and learned from and applying it to our lineup of programming that we would run in a typical summer, which we're really excited to get back to. So we open as early as June 14th, and then we have post weeks that go through August the 27th. So we span a lot of weeks to be able to allow parents to get back to work and to know that their kids are in a safe and fun place.
And how do we register?
So you go online to jcampsbaltimore.org, and there you can find all the information that I'm talking about now, as well as our link to register online.
All right, Emily Stern, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.